Hello, welcome to Diana Who Fitness. I designed this video on a concept that I'm calling MODPROG, which stands for Modifications and Progressions. The reason I made this video is because when I first started working out, I had a little bit of a difficult time with floor exercises as well as exercises where you have to transition from standing to the floor. I found it all pretty intimidating, and I really wanted a video that could help me strengthen myself and get better agility without the risk of injury. So that's what I'm hoping to provide you with this video. I would suggest you try some of these moves with me here today. So why don't you get out your mat and we'll get down to business. The first exercise we're going to start with today is walkouts. I use walkouts frequently in my workouts because I feel it's a gentler version of a burpee. Here is the full version of a walkout with a full push-up. As you can see, I do not have full range of motion in my shoulders, so I struggle with the full push-up myself. The most extreme modification of a full walkout would be to walk out just to pike and then come back in. I'll show you that a second time. The next step up from the walkout to pike would be a walkout to plank. So you'd walk out to plank, find your form in plank, and then come back up. The next step up from walkout to plank would be a walkout to a push-up on your knees. So you'd walk out to plank, knees down, push up, back up, feet down, and back in. I'll show you that a second time here. Of course, the next advancement after a walkout to a knee push-up is a walkout to a full push-up again. There are, of course, countless ways to advance the exercise. For example, to do a back and forth walkout. To do this, you would walk out to plank, hop your feet up to your hands as close as you can, stand up, back down, hop your feet back, and then walk back in. You would only do this version if you have developed the appropriate agility and strength to perform it without injuring yourself. Now I'll show you that a second time. There are numerous exercises you can practice to build your strength and agility, such as push-ups on your knees. Of course, you want to make sure your pelvis is tucked under and you have proper form here. Another exercise you can use to build your strength is a down dog to rocket. You want proper form throughout this exercise. Make sure that your core is engaged, and when you do rocket, come down as far as you possibly can. However, if you do feel any pain in your knees, you can always modify and not go down quite so far. And finally, a third exercise you can do to build your strength and agility for walkouts is a pike crunch, which is essentially you go into down dog, and you lift one leg up, pull it in for a crunch, send it back up, place your foot down, and repeat it on the other side. The next exercise up is crab dance. For full crab dance, you're hovering your butt over the mat, supporting yourself with your core and your limbs, and touching each hand to the opposite toe repeatedly. It took several modifications for me to progress myself to the point where I could do full crab dance over the course of about a year. So let me show you some modifications. The most extreme floor modification is to simply repeatedly lift your pelvis, of course, maintaining your form. The next step up would be basically the same thing, except that you lift one leg up. As you come up, you rest in between and repeat on the other side. The last step before a full crab dance would be to hover your butt over the mat and just not use your upper body. So you would just kick your legs up, alternating back and forth. Alternatively, if you prefer, you could also do knees up instead of a full extension. And finally, when you feel strong enough and agile enough, you can do full crab dance, which I'll show you here again. Hover your butt over the mat, have a strong hold on your core, and touch one hand to the opposite toe, alternating sides. Preparatory exercises you can use to develop your strength are isometrics, such as a bridge hold, full bridge hold. Here, you want to make sure that you don't sink down during the interval. Also, you want to make sure your shoulders are down, core is fully engaged, glutes tensed. Another exercise you can use to strengthen for crab dance is a wall sit. Here, you want to make sure that you have a 90-degree angle at the knee, and you also don't want to assist with your hands. Finally, a third exercise you can use to strengthen for crab dance is a full plank hold. You want to have your feet on the balls. You want to make sure that your pelvis is tucked under, core engaged, shoulders neutral, and you want to have your elbows underneath your shoulders. Our last exercise for today is a bike crunch. A full bike crunch uses both your upper and lower abs as well as your core muscles, and it's meant to be done without resting in between, so you just go back and forth between the knees for the full interval. A full bike crunch can be quite intimidating if you have not yet built up your abdominal muscles or your core muscles, so let me show you some modifications. The most extreme modification would be standing crunches with a light weight. You want to make sure that you're fully crunching here, engaging your abdominal muscles and your core muscles. The next modification up would be on the floor, but instead of keeping your feet lifted off the mat, you would only lift them for the crunch and then put it back down in between. Though this modification is less challenging than full bike crunch, you do want to be conscious of engaging your abs, and you also want to make sure to keep your lower back down on the floor. The last step below full bike crunch would be to lift your feet up off the mat throughout the duration of the exercise, but pause in between by resting your upper body down on the mat. So it would be quite a bit slower paced. And when you feel strong enough and agile enough, you can do the full bike crunch, which I'll show you here again. As you can see, there's no resting in between reps. You just keep on rolling until the interval is over. There are numerous preparatory exercises that you can practice to get ready to do bike crunch. The first one would be to just do a bicycle with your legs with your upper body fully released on the floor. So you would just pedal them back and forth. You would feel this mostly in your lower abs, but you also need to use your glutes as well as your core. Another preparatory exercise would be a basic crunch, which just engages your upper abs. Here, you're not engaging your lower body at all, except you do want to have your core engaged and make sure that your lower back is down on the floor. Also, always remember to have an imaginary apple between your chin and your chest so that you don't pull your chin down and engage your neck muscles. A third exercise you can do to prepare for full bike crunch would be Pilates 100 with your legs out at an angle, head lifted, and you pump your arms and breathe in 10 times rapidly and out 10 times rapidly until you reach 100. The last preparatory exercise I'll show you today for bike crunch is a leg windmill. You can place your hands under your lower back. You want your legs straight up, and then you just intertwine them up and down for the duration of the interval. This exercise engages your lower abs as well as your glutes. And that concludes the video, and I hope it's been helpful for you. And I want you to remember always to be kind to yourself while still challenging yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.